Welcome to Christmas vlogs. Hey, hey, hey. Hey guys, Dr. Sushi here, back with another video. And today you are seeing Christmas vlogs. Now, I'm not going to obsess over this, I'm just going to say it one time. The day before yesterday, I filmed no Christmas vlog. So I filmed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Couldn't make a 6th episode, but 7 and 8. So I filmed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, I think. I missed one day, but only missing one day, only missing December 6th, only missing one day is fine. Christmas vlogs. But yeah, guys, what I have right here is the best children's Christmas book and the best Christmas Dr. Seuss Christmas book, or whatever I just said. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Why, Grinch? Why? By the one and only Dr. Seuss, who does not exist. Cole's Cares for Kids. I don't care if this is a children's book, it's really good. So, when you open it up, it's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And here's what it looks like the second time you open it. For Teddy Owens, whoever that is. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. But the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be, perhaps, that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the Who's, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm, lighted windows below in their town, for he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy, now hanging a mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging their stockings. He snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas, it's practically here. Then he growled with his Grinch fingers, nervously drumming, I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming, for tomorrow, he knew. Another page. Here's the page. Merry, Merry Christmas. All the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early. They'd rush for their toys, and then oh the noise, noise. That's one thing he hated. The noise. And why not show you the page again? Then the Who's, young and old, would sit down to a feast, and they'd feast. Oh no, they would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. And then they'd do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Who's would start singing. They'd sing, and they'd sing, and they'd sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? But he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. If it's awful, how can it be wonderful? I don't know, man. I know just what to do." The Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. And he chuckled and chuckled. "What a great Grinchy trick! With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer." The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, I don't know, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said, "If I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead." So he called his dog Max, and he took some red thread and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. I like how this rhymes. The guy who Dr. Seuss is so talented. Sandy Grinch. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said, "Get app." What? Then the Grinch said, "Get app," and the sleigh started down towards the homes where the Who's lay a snooze in their town. All their windows were dark, white snow filled the air, all the Who's were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. And when he came to the first little house on the square, "This is stop number 1, the old Grinchy Claus hissed, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fists. I like the pictures with colors. Colors are so good and I don't even know what I'm saying. Then bye, I'm the Duggan. Christmas hat, oh yeah. Shake it off. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch, but if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who stockings all hung in a row. "These stockings," he grinned, "are the first things to go." Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room, and he took every present. Pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn, and plums. Then he stuffed them in bags, and the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags one by one up the chimney. The chimney? That's not a word. The chimney. See that right there? It says General Electric. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beast. He cleaned out that icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took their last can of Who hash. I think I already showed you that picture, but oh well, if you can see it twice. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee, and now, grinned the Grinch, I will stuff up the tree. Not the tree, come on, man. Sorry guys. And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove when he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove. He turned around fast and he saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter, who'd got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, "Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?" But you know, that old Grinch was so smart and so slick, he thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick. "Why, my sweet little tot," that the fake Santa Claus lied, "there's a light on this tree that wouldn't light on one side." So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here. And his fib fooled the child. Then he patted her head, and he got her a drink, and then sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Then the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Not too small for a mouse! I'm taking the cover off. Then he did the same thing to the other Who houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses. It was 15:15, all the Who's still in bed, all the Who's still snooze when he packed up his sled, packed it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags, and the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip to dump it. Pooh-hoo to the Who's, he was Grinch. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. They're finding out that no Christmas is coming. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry, boo-hoo. That's a noise, groaned the Grinch, that I simply must hear. So he paused, and the Grinch put his hand to his ear, and did he hear a sound rising over the snow? It started in low, then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, the sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry, very. He started down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook when he saw what he saw was a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came somehow or other. It was just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without packages, boxes, and bags. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light, and then he brought back the toys and the food for the feast, and he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast. And I skipped the pictures, but there's that picture, and that picture, and this 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 picture. I think I'm sort of... Oh. And this is about where the pictures left off, I think. Maybe... Yeah. I think I've showed you guys all the... Yeah. I think I've showed you guys all the pictures. So that was me reading How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The coolest Christmas book out there. And the coolest Christmas movie out there. And just the coolest thing ever. And... I'm sorry guys, but I filmed 5 Christmas vlogs. I missed December the 6th, but I filmed on 7th and 8th, so I only missed 1 Christmas vlog, which is really okay. Christmas vlogs. And see you guys later for tomorrow's Christmas vlog.